Good morning, everybody. My name is Osa, and it's a Saturday. So, Farming Simulator 19 on Oakfield Farm. As you can see, since last week, I have fertilised this field and some of this field. You can also see bits that we didn't cut this time since we left it mostly on a worker. And it is now 8 o'clock in the evening. And I still don't have any hay from this stuff. I was kind of hoping, to get the hay in. Now the grass has been sitting there just for today, so it will start decaying tomorrow. Weather report says it is fair trying conditions. The only problem is if there is a dew tomorrow morning, we may not end up with dry conditions again. But for right now, and you'll see we've got our fertilising tractor over there. But for right now, I think we're wandering back to the farm and getting ready for a night's sleep. This was all cut from that side this way. So the first grass to become hay will be furthest from this road. Up at the farm, the silage is compacted and covered, so I can't really pick that up and stick it in the same bunker for work. Okay, lots of bashing and crashing in the background. We have the HVAC guys in. They started Thursday and they're finishing off today. Oh, hi dog. Yay, you need some food? Yeah. You have some food. We'll go look at the silage and then we'll take a nap. So yeah, overnight we may lose some of the grass. Or it may turn into hay, in which case it doesn't get decayed until there's rain or snow. No chance of snow right now. I've got 30,000 money. So anyway, didn't check the animals either. Sheeps. Oh, we're going to have to feed them in the morning. Guess we'll see what state the field's in. We may use some of the fresh bales immediately that we make them. Oh, come on. I am not tired. Trust me, we need to be tired. We can stand in the corner for a few hours. So we will run it up to about 9 o'clock. Sleep for 10 hours and get back down to the field to see if it's ready to bale up. Okay, that'll do. How do we do this? Get on the bed. Yay. Sleep for about 10 hours. Take us through to 7 o'clock in the morning. Vehicle running costs. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to tab down to the tractors because it's just that much easier. Okay, that looks like hay. We can get this stuff baled and collected shortly. I'll lower the pickup. And fortunately it's a dry morning too, which it hasn't been for the last few days. That's why we got the cutting so late yesterday, game day. So, I think I may need to shut a door. Hang on a sec. That might help with the background noise. So yeah, a couple of weeks ago we discovered that the ductwork for the AC was leaking quite profusely, and put a bucket under the leak, and that had to be emptied about twice a day. So at that point we decided, okay, we're not going to delay moving the furnace and replacing the air conditioning. They're both over 20 years old, and it was in our budget to do. We just weren't expecting it to do it until possibly later in the year. But as it is, that's not going to be a thing. And we went ahead and booked that middle of last week. So we discovered the leak just after the last stream. Morning, Captain Zank, and how's your Saturday going? So that was all arranged for this week. We also got some electricians in to help to install some power in the basement, power outlets in the basement. 4 over in the corner where the water tank is, because currently the water tank is plugged into an extension cord which runs halfway across the basement to a power outlet in the roof, or in the ceiling of the basement. Don't ask me, previous owners. So we decided we want a bunch of new power outlets on that wall, along that wall. So we arranged to have the power guys come in at the same time as the HVAC guys, which might have made things a little bit easier. Unfortunately, all it's done is it's made it easier for the HVAC guys to work down there, because they now have places to plug their power tools into. A couple of power outlets outside as well. And unfortunately the HVAC guys weren't ready to wire in the new furnace until today. So the power guys are going to have to come back sometime to wire that in. I presume they're all set for today, so we'll see them again. And the guy turned up on Thursday morning and said, oh yeah, this is probably going to be a two-day job. And then he got to last night and said, yeah, we're going to be coming back. But it's all looking good. The new furnace is situated. We have a return duct mostly installed. He's just got to attach the where the holes in the floor in the upstairs to the ductwork, and that'll be done. He's going to put a new vent in the basement on the outflow line, so there will be air blown in front of the door, which will be warm during the winter, which may help a little with the cool temperatures down there. Farming on Felsbrunn. Good one. I didn't do much farming on Felsbrunn. And then supposedly some other HVAC guys are coming in to drain the AC lines, replace the AC unit, and get everything finalised. Oh, and remove the old furnace, which is currently sitting in the laundry room up in the main house. Used to be a double cupboard in there. One was for the hot water tank and one was for the furnace. Previous owners had problems with the water tank, so they replaced it, but that replacement involved situating directly underneath in the basement, so there wasn't much in the way of gas line and what's the other thing? Power requirements and water lines to move around. Rather than going up, they went down, and they're now doing the same thing with the furnace for us. Haven't been counting the bales, so don't know how many we've got. I need to run up and collect the bale collection wagon. Looks like a fairly good number, I must admit. It's possibly a full wagon load. And since this is the only hay we're doing this year, it will help somewhat going through to next year. Though there's always that cow pasture we could mow and hay. Because that's on an offset from our main two fields, since we had broken grass at the beginning of the year. Okay, that's all done. I think we'll call that good. Turn it off. What's the empty button? I don't recall what the empty button is. 10. Okay then. Fold it up. There we go. Go out this door. So yeah, that's all house stuff that's going on. Still waiting to hear from our contractor for when he's going to install the doors between the office and the dining room. Hopefully that should be very soon. And then we can discuss with him what the next job needs to be. Since we got the electrician in to put electric in the basement and to the outside into the backyard, I don't think we're going to... let's back up a bit. That's not on his list of things we need him to do anymore. And then, yeah, that's about it on house front for hopefully the time being. As I said, there is some work to be done in the basement, but it's not as critical. Now the other thing last week was Sunday we were going to visit a young person as a first encounter, whatever we want to call it. Why am I taking this down here? This doesn't go down here. Yeah, well, I can stick it here for now. We'll grab the trailer and I'll grab a different tractor to put that away. Bale collection. put the other cedar in there. Where is the other cedar? Over there. Yeah. I'll take the collection wagon out and swap it with the cedar. Of course, I don't need a tractor this size to move this, but it doesn't matter. It's what we're in, so we'll use what we've got. So yeah, visit went nicely. We met at a little ice cream shop and that had a sort of collection of swings and slides and what have you. The other family turned up with their other 3 foster kids who played for a bit while we talked to the child we're looking to adopt. And then towards the end, she said she wanted to go to play and we should talk to her foster parents. So we thought that was probably a good idea anyway, so we did that. Last weekend was vacation, so nothing doing then. That's the way to do it. But this week we have already arranged for another visit tomorrow. So we'll be heading out to visit with the young lady in question and see where we go from there. At this point, it all looks good. So I believe the goals are 2 sort of out in the public sort of meetings. After we've done this second one, a short couple of hours to visit our home, just to have a look around and what have you. That's going to be interesting because it's a 2-hour trip from her place and obviously a 2-hour trip at the other end. That makes for a very, very long day. So we'll be discussing with her foster parents the logistics of that. But then after that short meeting, or short visit, future visits would then be overnights until such point as adoption authorization goes through. But we have to see how that goes. I think we also have the option, and we have put in the paperwork to reactivate our foster license, which means we're not under such restrictions when it comes to her stayovers. I believe currently we're kind of like a reunification with natural parents situation with her. So we're only allowed to meet for 1 or 2, or she's only allowed to stay over for about 1 or 2 nights. And has to spend more than half the week at the foster family. But once, if we have a foster license, then that's off the table. Also, once the courts say, yeah, okay, we approve the initial placement with the aim to adopt, we then become legal guardians and, excuse me, that button. And so, again, we're allowed sort of stay over rights, if you like. Because she'll still be considered, or no, she'll be she'll then be considered to be in pre-adoptive care, which courts authorise, and you have the child 24/7. But if she's in foster care, then you have to be foster care licensed in order for her to be in your home. Okay, I'm going to stick this around here. So I'll stop talking about stuff while I do concentrating for a bit. How's that look? That looks fine. Unload button is that one. Yay. As far as the vacation went, we were over in East Central Ohio. The hotel had no breakfast. They had no swimming pool. And so we kind of had to entertain ourselves and go and get breakfast for ourselves, which obviously makes for a slightly more expensive hotel stay when normally you get free breakfasts. I think I'll go and fetch the other bales, and then I can stack them all in one go. We spent most evenings with my father-in-law, and the kids found a little plastic toy wagon, which they spent hours sitting in and rolling down a hill and then dragging back up, so lots and lots of energy expended, which was good. Yeah, the problem is breakfast around where the hotel is McDonald's breakfast and Wendy's breakfast and Taco Bell breakfast, so yeah, not the best breakfasts. You have to drive about 30 miles to get to a decent restaurant with breakfast. And then you're talking Bob Evans breakfasts and what have you. We did go to Bob Evans one morning for breakfast. Okay, that's all collected, I think. Oops. I'll finish off the spraying since we're a day late on finishing that off on this field. Fold up. Where'd the gate go? I lost the gate, okay. We'll go out the front. Ooh. Closed it. And then we went to it's called the Farm at Walnut Creek. They do have a Facebook page if you want to investigate them. And they have a drive around enclosure with ostriches and pigs and cows and buffalo and all sorts of wonderful large animals, and you can feed them, which is funny sometimes when you have kids. Oh, we want to feed the animals. Oh, the animals are scary. Yeah. So, yes, The girl now thinks, yay cows, but cows are big and scary. So, somewhat yay cows. Okay, again, I'm going to do this from the top because it's just easier that way. Now, we have done most of that bit, but fortunately yesterday's fertilization run is still visible, so I know where I'm going and where I'm not going, or where I've been and where I need to go. And so yeah, so we drove around the animal closure and gave them all food early one morning. Apparently early mornings is a good time to go feed the animals because they're still hungry. Okay. We missed a bit. But it looks like this is where we got up to at this end of the field, so we'll keep going. I didn't get any photos. I was doing the driving and the SUV was not behaving well on hills. It's you have to be really quick with your, take your foot off the brake and slam it on the throttle to go up some of the hills on their path through the park or through the farm. And also the parking brake was next to useless. We still have other problems with the SUV. We had them look at the AC again because it still wasn't ideal. And they fixed that. We picked it up just before we left on the vacation. And 1.5 hours into a 5-hour trip, our AC crapped out again. So it's back at the mechanics for them to have a look at. And since they pretty much replaced the AC, they need to figure out what they did wrong when they did that. Because it's working... It was working better when it was failing than it is now after being replaced. So... Also, yeah, the other thing that happened is while they were installing the new AC in the first place, one of their car porters was moving a vehicle out of the service bay. The brakes failed and it crashed into the back of our car and then into a wall of the service area. So that car is in a very bad condition. And our car is getting a free rear bumper and surrounding fixtures and fittings because, well, it's their fault it got wrecked. I'm going to need to go and get some more liquid fertilizer, it would appear. I thought there was going to be enough to do this entire field, but that's not the case. So, yeah, we got back on Wednesday. Just enough time to drop off the SUV, or unpack the SUV and then drop it off before the service department closed. Haven't heard anything back from them yet, but we don't expect to, since primarily it's there for the bodywork repairs at their expense, or their insurance company's expense. And they won't be, I wouldn't expect us to contact us about the AC unless it's going to cost us money. And frankly, it shouldn't cost us any money. Because it should be under warranty. Because they just put a new one in. Okay, which one's the herbicide? No, herbicide's green, fertilizer's yellow. We don't need a lot. That should be quite enough.